Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Y&R Spoilers Wednesday, August 27th, Confession, Past Love, Damage Control. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, August 27th, imply some major moments in the land of Genoa City. Someone makes a confession, while another reflects on a past relationship, and a character does a little damage control. Find out what's set to go down during Wednesday's show, below. What is this? Nate Hastings' confession. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, August 27th hint that Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, will confess something to Devin Hamilton Winters, Bryton James. Is this about his breakup with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver? Nate might be feeling bad for being so harsh on Audra, without any proof, although he shouldn't feel bad, Audra is guilty as sin. Still, Nate might also admit that despite her imperfections, he's still in love with the brunette. As Devin can't stand Audra, he may encourage his cousin to move past these feelings. However, will Nate be able to do that? Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers, here. Nate Hastings' confession. In Genoa City, nothing stays buried forever, and for Nate Hastings, a storm of secrets, ambition, and betrayal has finally pushed him into a corner. Long portrayed as a man guided by honor, intelligence, and a healer's heart, Nate has also been haunted by a pattern of questionable choices that blurred the line between loyalty and self-interest. Now, whispers are growing louder that Nate is preparing to make a shocking confession, one that could reshape his relationships, his career, and the balance of power in Genoa City. Fans have been waiting for a reckoning, and it looks like Nate Hastings' time of truth is finally here. The question isn't just what he'll reveal, it's how much damage the truth will cause and whether anyone will ever look at him the same way again. Nate's history in Genoa City has always been complicated. He started as the moral compass in a family filled with strong personalities, someone who chose medicine over corporate wars. But somewhere along the way, Nate drifted. His ambitions pulled him into the cutthroat world of Newman Enterprises, where power, greed, and manipulation became the currency of survival. He traded his stethoscope for boardroom deals, a decision that alienated him from family and friends who once admired his noble calling. Fans saw a man seduced by power, a man who betrayed Devin Hamilton not once but multiple times in business and in love. And now, with his relationships with Audra Charles and Victoria Newman hanging in the balance, Nate is reaching a breaking point. A confession could clear his conscience, but it may also burn every bridge he has left. The tension around Nate has been building for weeks. His romance with Victoria was passionate but complicated by his involvement with Audra. He wanted both love and corporate influence, but instead of cementing his future, he may have built his own downfall. Viewers have long suspected that Nate's heart is divided, and his inability to choose between loyalty and ambition has left him vulnerable. Now, speculation is rising that his confession may involve more than just romantic entanglements. It could expose secrets tied to the Newman family empire itself. If Nate admits to manipulating business moves or betraying confidences, Victor Newman's wrath will surely follow, and once the mustache sets his sights on you, there's no turning back. But Nate's confession may also be deeply personal. There is guilt gnawing at him from every angle: his betrayal of Devin, his deception of Elena, his manipulation of Victoria's trust, and his entanglement with Audra's schemes. For a man who once vowed to heal others, he has caused an astonishing amount of emotional damage. Could it be that Nate is finally ready to own up to the chaos he's left in his wake? Fans believe this could be the turning point that either redeems him or cements him as a villain in Genoa City lore. Soap operas thrive on characters who toe the line between hero and scoundrel, and Nate Hastings has become one of the most complex figures in that category. The biggest question is timing. Will Nate make his confession privately, perhaps to Victoria in a moment of vulnerability, or will it come as a bombshell in front of the Newman boardroom, where it could humiliate powerful players and shake up the company's future? Soap watchers know that a confession in Genoa City is never simple. Words spoken in the wrong setting can ignite feuds that last for months, even years. Imagine Nate spilling his guilt in front of Devon, Audra, and Victoria all at once, an emotional eruption that could leave careers shattered, hearts broken, and alliances destroyed. The fallout could easily become one of the defining storylines of the year. For Devon Hamilton, Nate's confession could reopen old wounds that never fully healed. Their cousin bond was once unbreakable, but Nate's betrayal cut deeper than most. If Nate admits to manipulation or disloyalty once again, Devon may finally slam the door on any chance of reconciliation. Fans who have watched their family dynamic unravel over the years know how heartbreaking it would be to see that relationship implode for good, but soap history also teaches us that even the deepest betrayals can someday pave the way for redemption arcs. Will Devon be able to forgive, or is Nate destined to be an outsider in his own family forever? Victoria Newman, too, stands at the center of this storm. She has been drawn to Nate's ambition, his intelligence, and the way he stood apart from the usual corporate sharks. But her trust has already been tested. A confession that reveals Nate's duplicity could destroy any remaining affection she has for him. Victoria has been through heartbreaks before, but she has also inherited her father's ruthless streak. If she feels Nate played her, she may retaliate with Newman-level vengeance, turning his world upside down in the process. And if Nate is foolish enough to confess in a way that humiliates her publicly, Victoria's wrath could ensure his downfall in both love and business. Then there's Audra Charles, who has proven time and again that she knows how to spin the truth to her advantage. If Nate confesses to anything involving Audra, she won't take it lying down. She thrives on survival, charm, and cunning, and Nate's honesty could easily make him her next target. A battle between Nate and Audra could be dangerous for both, especially since Audra has been building her own empire of influence in Genoa City. If Nate thinks confession will free him from Audra's grip, he may be gravely mistaken. Audra could easily twist his words into a narrative that destroys him and saves her. But perhaps the most intriguing part of Nate's potential confession is what it could mean for his future. Is this the beginning of a redemption story, where Nate finally strips himself of arrogance and ambition and returns to the man of integrity he once was? Or is this confession the last desperate act of a man who has already lost everything? Fans are divided. Some want to see Nate punished for his betrayals, while others are rooting for him to find redemption and love once again. The beauty of soap storytelling is that either path can be compelling, and in Genoa City, nothing is ever truly final. Speculation is also swirling that Nate's confession could trigger ripple effects beyond his immediate circle. What if his honesty exposes cracks in the Newman empire? What if it fuels rivalries with the Abbotts, who are always eager to seize on Newman weakness? And what if Nate's words uncover a secret even bigger than his own guilt, something tied to hidden Newman dealings that no one saw coming? A single confession could ignite wars between families, romances, and corporations, making it one of the most explosive moments in recent memory. As fans brace for what's coming, one thing is clear: Nate Hastings is about to change the game. His confession, whatever form it takes, will send shockwaves through Genoa City. It could ruin him or save him. It could destroy relationships or rebuild them. It could make him a pariah or finally, after all these years, earn him some measure of forgiveness. Soap operas thrive on these moments of truth, where one character's decision to speak from the heart sends entire storylines spiraling into chaos. And if the buzz around Nate is right, viewers won't want to miss a second of it. So as the suspense builds, fans are left to ask, what will Nate confess, and who will be standing beside him when the dust settles? The man who once defined himself as a healer is about to break open wounds that may never heal. Genoa City has always been a place where secrets rise to the surface, but Nate Hastings' confession may go down as one of the most unforgettable in the Young and the Restless history. Lily Winters reflects on Lane. Across town, another member of the Winters family will reflect. It sounds like Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, will be reminded about her love story with Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. There's a good chance that the CBS soap will recreate memories of the past between Lily and new Kane, as the OG Kane was played by Daniel Goddard. What kind of flashbacks will unfold? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Read this: The Young and the Restless spoilers. Kane double-crosses Victor, helps Jack and Jabot fight Newman? Lily Winters reflects on Lane. In Genoa City, the name Lane still carries weight, emotion, and memories that fans will never forget. Lane, Lily Winters and Kane Ashby, was one of the Young and the Restless' most beloved couples, a romance that spanned decades, weathered betrayals, scandals, and tragedies, yet always returned to the same unshakable connection that drew fans in from the beginning. Now, as Lily Winters faces new chapters in her life and career, viewers can't help but wonder how often she reflects on that past love, on the family they built together, and on the journey that defined so much of her adult life. Lily may be a woman who has moved forward, but the echoes of Lane are never far behind. When Lily first met Kane Ashby, sparks flew instantly. Their chemistry was undeniable, their romance passionate, and their love story quickly became one of the central focuses of Y&R. They weren't perfect, but they were real. Fans saw themselves in Lane, the highs of falling in love, the lows of betrayal, the heartache of separation, and the beauty of reconciliation. Lily and Kane built a family, raised children, and fought for each other when circumstances threatened to tear them apart. Through it all, their bond remained a testament to resilience and forgiveness. But as with all soap romances, Lane was not without turbulence. Kane's secrets, his lies, and his questionable decisions often tested Lily's trust. There were moments when Lily walked away, when she swore she would never forgive him, only to find herself drawn back to the man who held her heart. Their story was one of constant push and pull, an emotional roller coaster that left viewers both frustrated and deeply invested. Each reunion felt like destiny, and each breakup felt like heartbreak shared across millions of living rooms. It's no wonder fans still talk about Lane with such passion today. For Lily Winters, reflecting on Lane now means looking back at the love that shaped her. Kane was not just a partner, he was her anchor during some of her most difficult times. Together, they endured devastating tragedies, including Lily's cancer battle, which showed audiences the strength of their bond. Kane stood by her, refusing to let her fight alone, and that chapter of their story remains one of the most powerful and emotional arcs Y&R has ever delivered. To this day, viewers remember the raw, human honesty of those moments, and Lily can never look back on Lane without remembering the man who held her hand when her world was falling apart. At the same time, Lane's history also brings back the pain of betrayal. Kane's infidelities and lies left scars, and Lily's forgiveness was never easy. Their relationship reflected the complexity of real love, the idea that passion and devotion can sometimes coexist with disappointment and hurt. Lily's reflections on Lane must include those moments of heartbreak, the nights she cried alone, the days she questioned whether Kane could ever truly change. To move forward, she had to acknowledge the cracks in their foundation, the reasons their love story ultimately faltered. Now, years later, Lily has rebuilt her life. She has stepped into leadership roles, found independence, and carved her place as a strong, self-assured woman in Genoa City. Yet fans can see that she carries Lane with her, whether consciously or not. The lessons she learned from that relationship shape the way she navigates love, family, and even business today. Lane may no longer be together on screen, but they remain immortal in memory, and for Lily, reflecting on Lane means understanding how deeply those years shaped her identity. What makes Lane so unforgettable isn't just the romance itself, but the cultural impact it had on Y&R fans. Social media groups still celebrate their love, fan edits still circulate clips of their most emotional scenes, and Lane Forever remains a rallying cry among longtime viewers. Lily Winters reflecting on Lane is more than just personal nostalgia. It's a nod to a chapter of the young and the restless that defined an era. For fans, seeing Lily think about Kane, even briefly, is like revisiting a piece of their own history with the show. Speculation continues about whether Lane could ever return in some form. Daniel Goddard, who played Kane, remains a fan favorite, and viewers regularly campaign for his comeback. If Kane returned to Genoa City, it would force Lily to confront her past head-on, stirring up old emotions and unresolved feelings. Could Lily ever truly move on if faced with Cain again, or would the spark between them reignite instantly? These questions fuel fan theories and online debates, proving that Lane's legacy is still alive and well. For Lily, reflecting on Lane doesn't necessarily mean longing for what was, it may also mean acknowledging that she has grown beyond it. Love changes us, teaches us, and sometimes it prepares us for futures we can't yet imagine. Lane gave Lily the experience of unconditional love, of raising children together, of enduring storms side by side. It also taught her about resilience, forgiveness, and the strength to walk away when necessary. That reflection gives Lily the power to embrace her current path while honoring the journey that brought her here. Still, fans can't help but hope for a day when Lily and Cain cross paths again in a meaningful way. Even if it's not a romantic reunion, it would be powerful storytelling to see them reconnect, to reflect together on the family they built and the love they shared. Lane's story deserves closure, and Lily's reflections on their time together might just be the first step toward that. Whether or not Lane ever reunites, their legacy remains etched in Y&R history. For Lily Winters, reflecting on Lane is reflecting on a love that was flawed but unforgettable, painful but transformative, broken but beautiful in its own way. It is a reminder that love stories don't always end neatly, but they always leave their mark. For fans, it is proof that some couples never truly fade, no matter how much time has passed. Lane will always live on in Genoa City, and Lily Winters' reflections ensure that their story continues to matter. Nick Newman's damage control. Speaking of Cain, The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday reveal that Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, will do a little damage control where Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, is concerned. What is this? Will he spill the beans about the plan he and Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, have, or will he try and help Phyllis during a meltdown? During the Tuesday, August 26th episode, Cain decided to call off his plans, and was vague about it, so Phyllis could spiral at the thought that she no longer has a job, again. What are you most excited about seeing during Wednesday's show? Comment below. Watch your favorite CBS soap daily and check out SOS Often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. Nick Newman's damage control. Nick Newman has always been a man caught between his conscience and his family legacy, a son of Victor Newman who spent years trying to prove that he could carve out his own path in Genoa City without falling into the same traps of power, manipulation, and ruthless ambition that have defined the Newman name for generations. Yet once again, Nick finds himself in the position of having to clean up messes, protect his loved ones, and attempt to control the fallout of family drama and corporate battles that never seem to end. Damage control has become Nick's trademark role in the Newman family, and while he wears it with pride, the cracks are beginning to show. Can Nick really keep the empire together, or will his desire to do the right thing finally backfire and put him at odds with everyone he loves? Nick Newman's history has always been one of contradictions. He grew up as Victor's golden child, the son who was supposed to carry on the legacy of Newman Enterprises, but Nick never truly wanted that crown. Unlike his siblings, Nick often yearned for a simpler life, running a club, raising his children, and focusing on personal happiness rather than corporate dominance. But fate and family always pulled him back into the storm. Whenever a Newman scandal breaks or a family feud threatens to spiral out of control, it is Nick who steps in to keep things from collapsing. He is the peacekeeper, the voice of reason, the one trying to maintain the fragile balance between loyalty to Victor and the need to protect the people he loves from Victor's schemes. But that role is not without cost, and Nick's current round of damage control may be his most dangerous yet. At the heart of Nick's latest battle is the ongoing war between his siblings and the empire his father built. Adam Newman remains the eternal wild card, constantly clashing with the family, demanding recognition, and scheming his way into power. Victoria Newman is ambitious, calculating, and determined to prove herself as her father's rightful heir. Between them lies a tug-of-war for Victor's approval, for control of Newman Enterprises, and for the future of the family dynasty. And caught in the middle, once again, is Nick, the son who never wanted the throne but is forced to mediate as old wounds threaten to destroy everything. Nick's attempts at damage control extend far beyond corporate maneuvering. His personal life is just as complicated, riddled with heartbreaks, betrayals, and decisions that haunt him. From his failed marriages with Sharon and Phyllis to his romances with Chelsea and Sally, Nick's heart has always led him into messy situations. His relationship with Sally Spectra put him directly in the crosshairs of Adam, sparking tensions that bled into both business and family matters. Nick wanted to protect Sally, to give her stability and kindness that Adam never could, but in doing so he created another mess to manage. With Sally's loyalties and emotions divided, Nick now finds himself in the position of shielding her while simultaneously trying to keep peace with Adam, a balancing act that could collapse at any moment. Nick's children also weigh heavily on him. As a father, he has always placed family above everything, but his children have not been spared the chaos of the Newman legacy. From raising Noah through turbulent times to guiding Faith through her struggles, Nick has consistently stepped up as the protector. Yet his role as a father often clashes with his responsibilities as a son and brother. When Newman Enterprises becomes a battlefield, the fallout doesn't just hit the boardroom, it hits the family dinner table, the lives of the next generation, and Nick's own sense of peace. His damage control is not just about managing Victor or smoothing over Adam and Victoria's fights, it's about ensuring that his children do not inherit the same scars he carries. Victor Newman himself remains the core of Nick's struggle. For decades, Nick has tried to reconcile his love for his father with his disapproval of Victor's ruthless tactics. Every time Nick steps away, Victor pulls him back in, and every time Nick takes a stand, it ends with grudging respect mixed with disappointment. Damage control for Nick often means cleaning up Victor's messes, undoing the harm his father's choices caused to others, and trying to protect people from the fallout of the mustache's legendary schemes. Yet Victor rarely thanks him for it. Instead, he criticizes Nick for not being strong enough, not ruthless enough, not Newman enough. It is a cycle that has defined Nick's adult life, and as much as he resists it, he continues to play the role of fixer, the one trying to balance integrity with loyalty. But this latest wave of drama in Genoa City may push Nick to the breaking point. Rumors swirl that Victor's health is once again a factor, raising questions about who will control the empire in the future. Adam and Victoria are circling like sharks, ready to claim their positions. Audra Charles and Nate Hastings are scheming in the background, pulling strings that could reshape Newman Enterprises in ways Nick may not be able to control. And then there's the personal element, Nick's complicated connection to Sharon, his unresolved emotions for Phyllis, and the lingering grief over what could have been with Sally. Each of these threads pulls at him, demanding his attention, forcing him to play mediator, protector, and leader all at once. Nick's approach to damage control has always been grounded in morality. He believes in honesty, in fairness, in doing what's right even when it costs him. But in Genoa City, morality is often a weakness, and the people who survive are the ones willing to play dirty. Nick's refusal to embrace the full ruthlessness of his father puts him at risk of losing everything. How long can he juggle being the good son, the responsible brother, and the caring father before he finally cracks under the pressure? Fans know that Nick's resilience is legendary. He has been knocked down countless times, losing Cassie, surviving breakups, watching his businesses collapse, enduring betrayal after betrayal, but he always gets back up. That strength is what makes him the heart of the Newman family, the one person who can be relied on when everything else falls apart. Yet resilience is not the same as invulnerability. The cracks in Nick's armor are becoming more visible, and his latest efforts at damage control may finally expose just how much the burden has taken from him. Speculation grows that Nick could face a turning point soon. Will he continue being the family's fixer, forever cleaning up after Victor, Adam, and Victoria? Or will he finally step away, choosing peace over chaos, independence over loyalty? A bold move from Nick could reshape Genoa City, forcing others to deal with the consequences of their actions without his safety net. Alternatively, Nick could embrace his Newman blood fully, stepping into power not as the reluctant son but as the leader he has always been capable of becoming. Either path promises explosive storytelling, and fans are eager to see which side Nick will choose. As Genoa City braces for the next round of battles, one thing is certain: Nick Newman will be at the center, once again trying to hold everything together. His damage control may save the Newman family or finally tear it apart. Either way, his choices will define not just his own future, but the fate of everyone connected to Newman Enterprises. For viewers, Nick's struggle embodies the heart of the young and the restless, the eternal conflict between love, loyalty, power, and the human desire to do what's right even when the odds are stacked against you. Nick Newman's damage control is more than just a storyline, it is the legacy of a man torn between two worlds, and his next move could change everything.